Okay, so here's how we're going to start this episode. Sponsored by FitAid. You're welcome, Jake.
One day, maybe.
That's the joke. I keep saying that we're going to get sponsored by FitAid. They don't know we exist yet, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
You never know.
Never know. Angela Martin.
Yes.
That's my name. CBISD.
In the house.
You've been in the school system how many years?
So this is my 8th year to teach.
Okay.
Before that, I was a substitute teacher for about 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wasn't sure. I told Jake I thought you'd been in like teaching close to 15, but I was guessing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But you've changed roles now though, right?
Yes.
How many years did you do sixth grade?
So I was 6 years in 6th grade.
Oh, wow. So most of your teaching was in sixth grade.
Oh, yes. I love 6th grade.
You liked sixth grade?
Love 6th grade.
What is it because of the age?
Definitely the age. They're
Not
independent.
Yeah. They can go to the bathroom and wipe their own butts.
They're very independent.
Yeah.
I love their sense of humor, just everything about them.
Are they still
that is my age.
moldable at that time? Or they
Oh,
got
so
past
much.
that to where they're like,
They've got it all
like
figured
there's that
out.
little spot where it's like they listen to you or they don't. Like, are they really moldable at sixth grade? I would
Oh,
imagine, right?
absolutely. Even 7th and 8th, they're always moldable.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Doesn't
Yeah.
feel like they're moldable right now. I got a seventh grader.
Impressionable maybe is the word, because I feel like with kids,
Oh,
you can
definitely
really-
impressionable. Yeah.
They find someone.
I feel like
that's-
Briley is way more impressionable though at what she's in 4th grade than Cambry is. And I think it's because, they're developing like these, their own opinions and stuff like that. And Briley, I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And she's like, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe personality too.
Or that you're a parent. It seems like there's always an outside source that has to come in and really direct that
For sure.
sometimes.
No, I agree. Like,
It's just like, I don't know what to say.
no, I mean, I think it's easier for an outside source to influence.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember things that my dad would say or my mom would say, and then somebody else would say it, and I'd be like, it connected. I'm like, but looking back, I'm like, they said that for years. True or not true?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all about a relationship. When it comes to a teacher and a student, it's all about relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Because how do you get a classroom full of 25 kids, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade to come in and sit down? What if they don't want to come in and sit down?
Yeah.
So it's all about having that relationship with them so that they know, come in and have a seat.
That's interesting because having a relationship with 25 kids, that's hard to do, especially with all the different personalities. So it's like connecting with each one has to be different, right?
It is an adventure every day. It truly
It's
is.
the best way to put it, an adventure.
It is an adventure.
But you're not doing that anymore. You're not in 6th grade anymore, right?
No, so I have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. My class is a combination of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade all mixed together. So it's a dyslexia class. So I don't have 25 students in my class, period.
Oh, wow. Small classes now.
Right. There are, smaller sizes. They range anywhere. I have 17 in one class period. They range anywhere from 13, 12, 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get the privilege of having, a smaller
Interesting.
Smaller class size.
Dyslexia, that's a good question. I had no idea we're going here, but does it range like wildly for dyslexia from like, because I everybody assumes that dyslexia is you see numbers and words and letters and stuff like that backwards and stuff like that, but it ranges from all kinds of things, doesn't it?
The levels of severity, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as simple as they may just swap a letter or two in a word to like complete sentences, possibly like moving words around and stuff like that, or.
Well, it's like spelling. So we think in terms of, difficulty in spelling, difficulty in decoding words. Some kids have, more severity than others. Like some of the kids in my classes, you may not even know they would have dyslexia because they're reading, pretty close to grade level.
Yeah.
But then there's other students who are, struggle quite a bit. So it's just how the brain works.
It's crazy. So Briley was diagnosed with dyslexia last year, I think it was, towards the end of the year. I think it was towards the end of the year. And the reading help she's received already from the end of last year through this year, her reading has improved immensely. It was crazy. Like, we thought for years that she just didn't want to learn how to read, right? It was crazy. Like, we were just like, come on, Briley, read these words. And she could to a degree, but it was really hard work for her. And we thought she was just being lazy, like, for real. We just thought she was being lazy.
I think that's the first thing as a parent.
You're just like, stop being lazy, work harder.
You just don't understand. You don't know the signs to see, like.
Yeah, we didn't understand it at all. Like, did not understand it. But now that she's received help, dude, her reading has improved like crazy fast. It's nuts. It really is. And it's because they know, you guys know the tools. She's in 4th grade, but y'all know the tools to help kids move in the right direction. It's pretty awesome.
Is that something you can ever get away from? Like, completely fix from it or no?
Well, the students, they'll even grown, they'll always have dyslexia, but they will learn how to manage and how to work with it. Some students can get out of the dyslexia program. At the junior high level, they do get out of it.
Yeah.
Some of them, pass the STAR test. So, that is our goal, to get them, to get them through our program. We have I feel we have an incredible program. It's the Reading by Design program written by Region 4. So it focuses on their writing, their spelling, their comprehension, their fluency, the vocabulary. It's basically, it's all of those things put together.
That's cool.
A customized program.
And do they test out of it, or it's just the STARS test that they?
We look at we assess them beginning of the year. We assess them end of the year with a district dyslexia assessment. And so we look at those scores to see how they do, to see if they're able to get out. And then definitely, at my level, at the junior high level, they have to pass the STAR test to get them out of the program.
Yeah.
In addition to score high enough on the district dyslexia assessment.
Wow. So it is definitely possible. Yeah, I know several. I know that they have adults who have dyslexia, and they function very well. And you would never know in a conversation with them that they had dyslexia. Definitely not. You know what I mean? So it's such a weird thing, dyslexia is, because it's not something that's always so visible. You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
What's like a sign? Like, if a kid was to walk in here, you'd be like, I think he struggles with dyslexia just right off the bat. Is there anything?
Just by looking at, like I'm looking at you, I would,
the way that they talk or something, is there a sign or no?
Mm-hmm.
Is it strictly just writing and reading?
I would have to look at their writing. I would have to look at their spelling, look at. Mm-hmm.
Is that like a backwards B? Is that considered a sign or something like that? Or
it can be, but that's, just because a kid's writing their B back, we wouldn't say.
I think every kid
have
starts
dyslexia.
on. First, most kids do.
How do you know?
Yeah,
but when they're 15 and still doing it, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We have, specialized people who administer the test to diagnose for, I don't do that. We have, diagnosticians who do that. So.
Here's what's crazy is like Briley, she's 9 years old and she has better handwriting than Camber does at 12. She has better handwriting than I do, and she has dyslexia. So it's not necessarily, it's like weird because it's like she misspells words, but she writes beautifully. It's crazy.
So a test, like how they make sentences sound similar on all 3 or 4 answers, like, is that like what really trips them up? Because it's like they may read it, but it comprehends backwards or something. You know what I'm saying? Like how closely written answers are on tests, to try to throw you off. That's why they struggle with test taking?
I would say more like on the STAR test would be the level of complexity of the question, being able to read the passage, because it's a long passage and it's hard.
Yeah.
And if the student is 3 and 4 grade levels behind, say they're taking a 6th grade STAR test and they're reading on a 2nd grade level.
Yeah.
It's it would be like me coming in to do a workout and being expected to lift the
Jake's weights.
Yeah, I would be frustrated and I wouldn't I wouldn't want to work out. I would just want to quit. And so we see that in the classroom sometimes. Kids will say, "I hate reading. I don't want to read." They they don't want to pick up a book.
That's exactly what Briley would say. Yeah, I hate
because
reading.
it's hard. I mean, I wouldn't even want to walk into the gym if you have to modify for me all the time. We say that.
That's because you choose to.
Well, and bringing that up, when I first started Vital, I couldn't run. I couldn't run at all. It hurt my knees.
Yeah.
But, I can run now.
She can run now.
That's good.
Yeah, I never dreamed I would be able to run a mile and, enjoy running.
That's really funny because I always thought you were a runner previously.
I have a little bit of a running background. through high school, but not, as
Not
I
in your-
got older.
Not in your adult life.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. See, I thought you were like a runner this whole time, and so it just came naturally to you.
No.
So on running workouts, I'm always like, go faster.
Yeah, I'm like dead, dying. He's like, get up.
That's funny. So you went from we didn't talk about previous, but 6th grade, now you're working the dyslexia program, and you love that, huh?
I love it. It is it is an honor. It's a dream come true.
That's
it is
cool.
It is. So I was at Barrow. All of my experience was done at Barrow until this school year. I moved when 6th grade moved to the new wing. I was able to move over. The dyslexia position opened up at the junior high. I was able to go with them, and there's my teammates, my friends. And so it just happened to be a good time to move with them.
Gotcha.
And it is like a dream come true to be able to learn this piece of reading. Teaching 6th grade, I did not know how to break reading down to help kids learn how to put the letters together to form the words. Because in 6th grade, we don't teach,
You don't teach that.
No, we teach summary, inferences, main idea, cause and effect, figurative language. We don't teach kids how to read in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I needed to learn basically what I call it drills, which would be like our jump rope, sit-ups, pull-ups, and push-ups, in Vital.
Yeah.
But the dyslexia program for reading is like doing those drills that nobody wants to do, but you have to do them to be able to, do your toes to bar and to be able to do.
I love all the workout references. This is
Yeah.
good.
And and it's really because I get to use it with the kids in class. And there's some athletes, 6th, 7th, and they're in athletics, football players, basketball players, and they understand that. When I say these are drills, nobody wants to go into the gym and do sit-ups and pull-ups or push-ups. Push-ups, jump rope. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. They just want to shoot the basketball. They want to shoot threes all day.
Right. They want to be the superstar on the court or on on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to think about what's the process to be the superstar. You have to do these drills and put in the time that nobody wants to do.
Boom. That'll
So-
preach.
Yeah, it's really CrossFit has been a huge help.
That's cool.
To us as a family, and and even me in the classroom, especially with the athletes at school.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
I had a question. I forgot it like literally 5 seconds ago. I was like, I'm going to ask this question. And this was like,
I'm trying to think about so maybe moving over to the new wing.
I don't know. Yeah, that's cool though. How is the new wing over there?
It is fantastic. It is top of the line.
Really?
Never dreamed I would be able to have a class. So I have 30 desk and chairs, brand new. I have 2 whiteboards. I have top of the line technology that is just, I've never seen it before in my life. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's cool that they believe in it, like to give the tools to get the job done.
Yeah. What's brand spanking new? Like literally, this is the first year in that facility.
Oh, really?
In the 6th grade wing.
Right.
You teach out of the 6th grade wing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like brand spanking new. I mean, like they were literally painting it as the students walked in. No, not quite that, but pretty much. I mean, they finished it this year, starting school.
Yeah, they just, it is.
And it went up
top
fast.
of the line.
That was crazy how fast they put that place together. It seemed like whoa. It seemed like just not too long ago, it was like you saw them breaking ground, and then it was like boom. It seemed that way,
Yeah.
and especially all through COVID.
Right.
They got that done through COVID, where everything was like so much slower during that time. Anyways,
How
as
is
a
it-
construction guy over
Oh
here.
yeah, you're in awe right there.
Have you ever seen the inside of the building?
No,
It is.
I've heard
It's
Cambry
fantastic.
talk about some of it, but she's never been. I don't know that she's been inside of it other than talking to other kids. So
Yeah. They try to keep the 7th and 8th graders out
Completely
of that.
out, yeah.
Unless, there's a few classes that have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in that wing.
Oh, okay.
3 classrooms that I can think of.
Yeah.
But other than that, they try to keep the older kids away from the
completely,
situation.
which is good. Yeah. What was your question? Sorry, Jake.
Oh, it was just like, how is it like having a relationship with God and then being able to like, can you incorporate that in your job, or do you do that with like students and stuff like that?
So, like I have a cross hanging on my wall. There was a gentleman who's local. I think that he goes to First Baptist Church, I think. And so as a ministry, he designs crosses by hand out of wood.
That's cool.
And when I was at Barrow, he came and he gave every teacher one of his handmade crosses. And, our district allows us to hang them on the wall.
Oh, wow.
And so, it's been hanging on every year, I hang it up.
Yeah.
They allow people to go into the schools at the beginning of the year to pray over the class. Like this school year, when I showed up to my classroom on the first day of school in the new wing, somebody had written a note on a Post-it note, and they stuck it on my right beside my door, like on the room number. And it says, praying for you to have a fantastic year. And then it had a scripture verse at the bottom of it. And so I left it up until, the stickiness wore off.
That's
and it finally
awesome.
fell off. And, and the kids would ask, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when kids ask, I can say, well, somebody came through the hallway and they prayed, they prayed over the classrooms, and then they wrote a note.
It's
want us
super
have
good
a
to hear
year.
because all we ever hear is they removed God from school. You know what I mean? Like my whole life I've heard that.
Well, how long you've been in it a long time. So have you seen a huge difference with God being removed, or just the people, like the kids in school, like not having it available as much, or what have you seen change over the years?
I would say
Is it
like
same?
I was going to say like the commandments and a lot of stuff was moved in prayer before school. Was probably removed. That was removed before you started teaching. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was,
So
I couldn't say when. I don't remember the year when prayer was removed.
Yeah.
They still have, what is it, CU at the
pole.
Yeah,
See at the
they
pole.
still do that.
Yeah. I mean, they can still kids can still have like their own prayer groups
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
They can do that, like clubs.
Yeah,
used
the
to.
high school. I think there last year. I think there was a
FCA,
group of
right?
high school
Is
kids.
it FCA? Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Y'all do
FCA.
that here?
Yeah, I know Sweeney does. I don't know if West Columbia does.
I don't know, but I do know that there was a group of high school students who had like a Bible study. I think before school,
Cool.
maybe last year or the year before.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
there is God is still in school.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not the same as it was at one point. Maybe not corporately led, right? By the administration, right? Because they used to pray like at the beginning of the day over the PA, I believe, at one point.
Yeah. I think I remember as a kid that happening.
You don't.
I don't
But it would've
remember,
been-
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
You're making-
Well, and two, the teachers' luncheon. The
Oh,
district,
yeah.
the convocation.
Yeah,
our
we have a
back to
good
school.
district. We have a good
Yeah,
district.
yeah.
It really is different, I think, probably than most. I mean, they come to our church, we host them, and they it's at our church. I mean, so definitely the leadership in our district is definitely pro God for sure. You know what I mean? So it's pretty awesome.
like they say, like a mechanic, like it's hard for him to work on his own car. You know what I'm saying? Was that when you were raising kids as well? Like, was it hard coming home from working and then having to deal with your kids at the same time? Like having the same patience with someone else's
Singular.
kid?
Yeah, just one kid.
Oh,
But she was like having a classroom of 25 kids, for real. I tell just she's like having a class of 25 kids.
That's funny.
So I had the privilege of getting to be Kaylee's sixth grade teacher.
I didn't know they'd allow that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So when Kaylee was in the sixth grade, that was my second year to teach, full-time teaching, sixth grade. I had moved from social studies. They moved me to reading. So it was my first year to teach reading. And so I had her for one class period a day. And it was hard coming home with, because we would go to school together. We would come home.
Yeah.
And, and Kaylee, sometimes she could be a smart mouth. And, at the end of the day, I'm tired. She could be a smart mouth at school. She'd be a smart mouth at home. She can be a smart mouth, anywhere, anytime, just when the mood.
In her sleep.
Yeah, when the mood strikes.
It's like, do your homework. I don't have homework.
yeah.
I gave you homework. I know you have homework.
I know for a fact. I gave it to you. In fact, I gave you extra.
I remember telling her one day we were driving home from school. And we literally lived like a mile from the school.
Yeah.
I remember she smarted off about something. I was probably tired from the day anyway. And I remember looking at her, telling her, if you can't be nice to me, if you don't have anything nice to say to me, don't even talk to me
Don't
at all.
say
I
it
don't
at
even
all.
want to hear your voice. I remember her looking at me like, Mom, that is so rude. Like, what is wrong with you? I've had enough of all of it.
I'm trying to think if
Disrespectful
I was
kids.
my
Yeah.
kid's teacher, like, and your hands are tied at that moment. Like, if they were to backtalk you at school, like, what do you do?
Yeah,
What would you do? I mean,
So that's a great question because we deal with that daily.
Oh yeah, not even your own kids, but just kids in general.
Any kids,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's just human nature. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
Because it's just human nature. We deal with that daily. So I had really good mentors when I started teaching. I had Miss Williams and Miss Jennings. Of course, Miss Starnes was an excellent mentor also, and they taught for 25 plus years each. So they were able to help me, learn how to manage that. So it goes back to the relationship, and we teach it, we do it, we practice it from day one. One of my rules: you're going to come in, you're going to sit down. because if you will not come in, if you will not sit down, then I'm not going to be able to teach you anything. You're not, they won't be able to learn. They'll be distracting. They'll want to run around the room. So they have to come in, they have to sit down, they have to keep their hands and feet to themselves. Once kids start thumping, tapping, kicking, punching, then fights happen.
Yeah.
The other one is, respect others and their property. And that goes along with, I don't talk crazy to you. And I tell the kids, I'm not going to get in your face. I'm not going to talk crazy to you. Mm-hmm. I don't do that. And on the same side, you're not going to do that to me either. Yeah. If we need to have a conversation, we'll step out in the hallway and we'll have a conversation. But I'm not going to get in your face and talk crazy to you.
What's really funny is I almost called you Pow Pow. Angela is so sweet and she's small in stature, but she can have a very stern face whenever she's having a conversation. I'm listening to watching.
Feels scared.
Yeah, watching you talk to Jake and I'm getting intimidated. I'm like, oh man.
I'm going to sit down.
So I'm I can see this, you having these conversations with these kids, and it's because you present it in love, but your demeanor is very serious. You take it very serious. And so I can see how kids would respect you because of that. Yeah.
It is very respectful. And it has to be. I can't teach and they cannot learn if we do not have that respect, and we spend the first 2 weeks building that relationship, building that respect, and I love my kids, every single one of them. And I know they love me too. And I tell them every day, I bring my best to you every day.
That's awesome.
I work hard to bring my best to you every day. That you have my word, I will bring my best to you every day.
That makes me feel good about better about our school system, because so many times you just hear the teachers don't care, the school system, they're just pushing you through. And every time that we talk about school with you, I feel like you genuinely do love your kids. And that's awesome. It makes me really happy and proud to know that you are that type of person. So
we
how do you
love
feel
our
about
kids.
Your members?
Huh?
How do you feel about your members? Is it the same way?
Do
you she invests her time in these people?
Yeah.
I would imagine you invest your time in us a lot. So our failures or successes, I'm sure you're impacted by.
Yeah. So I love it when people thank me. They're like, thank you so much for this. And I'm like, I always put it back on them. Yeah, I'm here. I gave you the tools, but you did the work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. So it is awesome whenever someone succeeds and they lose 20 pounds, they lift the weight, whatever it is. And they're like, thanks for whatever, this or that. Thank you so much. And I'm like, it's not me. I just gave you the tools. You did the work. You know what I mean?
It is. It's truly a relationship. I mean, it is, and I tell them, I expect you, I need your best every day too.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring my best. I expect your best. And we know you love us. We feel that, that's why we come in with a smile on our face every day.
Yeah.
And we learn from you. And, and there's another, Justin and I were talking, the power of, because I asked you to. So you think about that. Yeah. And that's from a relation, whether a wife asking a husband to do something, they may not want to do it, but they do it, because their wife asked, because I asked you to. Mm-hmm. And so the kids, when they come in and they sit down, they may not want to come in and sit down, but they do it because I asked them to. Mm-hmm. They may not want to complete this work assignment.
Yeah.
But they do it because I asked them to.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hard workout.
Right.
There's days that I know the workout is going to kill people. And I actually feel bad some days. I'm like, dude, I know this is terrible. I know it's so bad, But I would never ask you to do something I'm not going to do myself.
Yeah.
So it's there's that mutual respect. I'm going to do it. And I know you can too. It's going to hurt, but you can do it,
Dee and I, we went to a couple gyms before, and there was fat gym owners, and it's
oh,
that's what really, with Dale, that's what got us to come here, is because whenever we saw him working out, him going through the pain too, it was you're displaying this, you're an example.
Yeah. It bothers me whenever people prescribe things to other people and they don't follow it themselves.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to fitness, you'll see it all the time, man. Especially in I would say more in the personal training space.
Oh yeah.
They'll be telling a client, a trainer will tell a client, you're going to go in, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, you're going to do this, and then you ask them, what do you do on a daily basis, and it doesn't look the same at all. Yeah. Why? They're not following their own advice. Now it could be the client needs. Sometimes the client needs special attention, right? Or they need to work on something specific to fix some weaknesses or whatever. But like, it's true. You see it all the time, especially in the personal training space. Like, they don't do the same things that they're prescribing to people. I'm like, why? I want to do the things that work. I know this works. You know what I mean? It's no different than you walking in the classroom. I know I can give you the tools to teach you how to read. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Yeah. Pet peeve. But I see it all the time, especially like on the internet. It's like especially like on Instagram and Facebook these days, you'll see all these clients being trained by these trainers. I'm like, I know good and well you're not doing that. Your body type shows that you're not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I know good and well that you're over here doing bench press and deadlifts and stuff like that, and you're having this dude over here do some nonsense Bosu ball bull crap. You know what I mean? Like standing on a Bosu ball doing squats. You ain't doing that. Anyways, moving on. You about got fired up, Jake.
Yeah, he's getting mad over there.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Yeah, I'm like lost track of thought here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, moving on.
Well, you helped Dale with a parenting issue.
You did, for
That
sure.
was kind of cool. How was it like having one kid? Dale you got 3 now.
3.
I've got 2.
Two.
I didn't want 3.
1, 2, 3. And
1, 2, 3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
someone joked around we were on vacation, and someone said, I only had 1 kid, so it's like I'm not a real parent. I started laughing pretty hard. It's not true, but it's
Not
funny.
true
Yeah.
at all. How was it raising one kid?
You know, I never dreamed I would have just one. I always, growing up through high school, I always said I wanted 4 boys. That's what I wanted.
Ooh, so one girl did it.
Yeah. One girl was equivalent to the 4. No, I'm joking.
No,
she
you're
was.
not.
She was. It was a lot for me. I had my hands full. She demanded a lot out of me. She was high energy from the minute she was born. Mm-hmm. It was high energy. Very, very demanding. And, at the time I just felt like I could not have another one, when she was around 4, we kind of considered it and talked about it, and
Yeah.
it just
Strong-willed.
never. She was
Dale used that word, strong-willed.
Strong-willed.
very strong.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
and I know you said you do. So
Yeah.
what was the worst year and the best year? Let's have that. Is it all together?
Huh? For me?
No,
Or
for her.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Like,
People talk. I couldn't tell you. They're all the same. I mean, it's all. People talk about terrible too.
Yeah, they're better now by far.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
what you sowed in the beginning, I would imagine. If you don't do it right at the beginning, like raising them up, then those last years are not going to be good,
Yeah. What's really funny, I always thought like Justin was because he is a gentle giant. He's a big guy, tall dude. But I always thought he was like the calm in the storm. It turns out it's really Angela. Justin will praise Angela for her ability to, whenever they were dealing with issues with Kaylee, she would be the calm one, and Justin would be the wild one, like getting wild back.
Yeah, people don't know. I mean, when Justin gets mad, it is over.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like
Because he's such a nice guy. He's
you
so
don't
calm.
expect it is.
Yeah.
It's over.
But the strong-willedness probably comes from Justin, because he can be very quiet.
I blame it all on him. Yes.
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's how it normally is.
yeah. But he's also like is very what is the right way to put this? He's very structured in ways. When he believes something should be done the way it should be done, it has to be that way. Is that maybe a good way to put it? And if you deviate from that, it's like my way or the highway, right? I'm not saying he does that way in life with everything, but when you're dealing with your kids, is different, right?
Yeah.
Because if you and I have a disagreement, I'd be like, all right, whatever, dude, I'll see you tomorrow. No big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whenever it's my kid in my house, it's a whole different situation, So it makes it a lot tougher.
So they were more alike, and then that's why they're
both very
They're
stubborn.
very, very
Strong-willed.
much. I remember Justin looking at Kaylee one day. He said, "You're just like what?" He said, "You're just like my mom." Yeah, you're just like my mom. I said, "Hold up, just a minute." Talking about you don't forget yourself in there too. You're
generation.
you're part of this too.
I mean,
Put
it
all
is
this on your mom.
It is true,
Yeah.
though, to a degree. That family, the Martin family, they're very similar. You look at Melody, you look at Lori, you look at Justin. They're very strong-minded, strong-willed people. And it's a good thing. It really is. So anyways, but yeah, the calm one. I always thought she was the fiery one and dealing with stuff, but I'm sure you have been at times. But
was there ever like a turning point where it was like, we can breathe a little bit or anything? Like, what age was that at?
I would say around the 7th grade.
yeah,
She grew up, and we had a few rough patches, moments, not many in junior high, but I had my hands full, when she was little. I would say junior high, they turn, and you just see the beauty of them starting to grow and mature into the person, that they're going to be, because you spend all those formative years putting the things into them.
yeah.
What's right, what's wrong. Kaylee has a very strong sense of, what is right and what is right. And I have no doubt, were she to, I trust her. When she tells me she's going to go somewhere, I know that's where she's going to be.
That's the beauty of a strong-willed child too. At the same time, and if you're directed the right way, is their right and wrong is very, very firm. Their north compass is very strong. Does that make sense? So I think if you plant the things throughout their life, they are going to hold firm so much easier than someone who wavers more, right? That's how I feel about Cambry. Cambry is going to waver a whole lot less than Briley. Briley, she's opinionated and stuff like that, but if her friends, I think she's a little easier swayed this way or that way. I think Cambry would be like, no, this is wrong. You know what I mean? And I've had perfect examples of like me and Nikki pretending like all right, we're leaving, guys, and then we shut the door and like sneak back to the room, and I hear Briley say, well, Mom and Dad ain't here, and stuff like that, right? So that like, those things.
Like, funny we test our kids like that.
Dude, you need to try it.
No, I do. I'm saying I do test them.
Okay,
It's funny we test our kids like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. How do you know how much rope you can give them? You got to test it a little bit. Okay.
But it's when they fail the test, it's like, backtracking now.
Yeah, like that's on me. Too funny. But because of that, right? Because Kaylee she's a strong-willed person. Her decision making is easier for her. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know everybody struggles with making right decisions. Every single time they're presented with something, there's always the side saying, but that would be fun, right? But the North Compass is always like, right? And someone who's strong-willed, it tends to get there a little faster.
How do you deal with that and not break the strong will? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, it's a finesse thing without destroying.
Probably has some good answers for this. Yeah. Well, the conversation we had was super enlightening. It really was, about dealing with strong-willed children.
Did you write a book?
Maybe one day. Maybe one
Well,
day.
let's see. Give us some advice.
How to survive the strong-willed child.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a book called that, isn't there? Basically, it's like
James Dobson wrote
yeah.
one.
Something about a strong-willed song.
Did you read a lot of books about?
I did read his. Yes, I did. And I had my mom and dad to help me. I had his dad and his mom. I had my mother-in-law and father-in-law. We have been very fortunate to have just an incredible group of mentors around us. And I told Dell, in our conversation, I said, look, when Kaylee was in 6th grade, we went to see a counselor. We went and we got help as a family. We went
like a family counselor?
Yes, we did. We went to see Liz Sardalich in Angleton. We did it because Kaylee was at the point where it was just like she wasn't it was just the smart mouth, just the constant fighting. And I could not. I don't like that.
Like my house.
Yeah, I don't like
Lord.
that.
I
have to have a peaceful home. I have to have a peaceful classroom.
Yeah.
I don't like all the fighting.
Like,
Do
I'm
you
at a
have the
place-
title of the book?
That's what I was going to look it up.
I'm at a place
I'd
right now with Sage that I'm just like, look, is this how we're going to have our relationship? Like, honestly, like you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I missed out having a good dad because we were fighting every day.
Yeah.
And if it's not her, it's with Selah. Like, it's just, and Selah's not the angel either, but it's just like that fighting mentality. Like, it's just not fun to be at home with that, and trying to help navigate that. And then I take 45 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes just talking and trying to build a relationship with Sage. Not like, oh, let's build a relationship, but like through the process of when something happens wrong and how this X, Y, Z and stuff. And it's just like, it feels like it never gets through. And then we'll have like a success. And then it's like a backslide for like however far back, it's stressful, but
Yeah.
Any advice would be great. I'm like out of breath
Yeah.
right now because I'm just like, this is a daily
Thinking
thing.
about it.
And it's something that with her, it's just like our conversations are, I've only got like X amount of time left with you. And I'm sad because you look at other people and you're like, I wish we could go do that, Dad. I'm like, yeah, but you can't respect us at the house. You can't respect, I can't trust you because you lie every time I ask you something or this or that. Like, how do you expect me to give you more freedom if you can't earn respect? And it's a struggle because I want to be the dad that can be like, yes, you can go do that. But because you haven't earned that trust in me and you've burned it so many times, it's hard to just release her to be like, yeah, you can do this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Where's the medium to where I'm not just being this harsh dad that won't ever let you have freedom, but at the same time, do I have to give a little bit of freedom first to earn the respect back, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we always tell Kaylee, trust is earned. Trust is earned. So Liz gave us a lot of strategies when we sat down as a family, in terms of communicating with each other, listening, sitting and talking. And this is how you do that. When Kaylee would get mad about something and she would just pop off and she would just basically go off, you put a stop to that.
Yeah.
You go to your room. We'll talk about this. Number one, you're not going to talk to me like that. Go to your room. That way she can calm down. We could calm down, and then we could have a conversation about it later. So that helps 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. By the time they hit 9th grade, it's those things have to be in place because they're becoming very quickly an adult. So you have to have, those relationships put in place. That relationship has to be there. When Kaylee was in 7th grade, Justin went back to college. He went to get his MBA from Rice. And so he was gone a lot. He would work, a full-time job. He would come home from work and he would study from the time he got home, which would be 5, 6 in the evening. He would be studying till midnight every night. And then he would sit in the weekends, he would sit in class. So it was
a
really,
busy guy.
he was, highly intelligent. I couldn't have done it. Highly intelligent, very disciplined. And he went back to college at the right, that was when Kaylee was in junior high. So had it been in high school, he would have been different. He would have missed out on all of her band activities. And so it just happened to be at the right time. Well, she and I were able to develop a very strong relationship because it was just her and I.
Yeah.
And so we would, on Friday nights, we would go out to eat. We would go get groceries. We would spend a lot of time talking. As I was driving down the road, I would ask her, how was your day? How's so-and-so doing? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Like anytime I've ever taken Sage by herself, it's a totally different story. Same with Destiny taking her by herself. But the moment we get together, that's when it ignites. And it's like, you can't respect us when we're together, which that ain't going to happen because I'm always going to be with her.
Yeah, you're going to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like if you add someone to the equation or if you remove, so I don't know if that's that should be a sign of she's starving for attention or something like that.
That is a weird thing because I noticed that too.
If you take her by herself,
yeah,
what
totally,
would it be like?
Totally different.
Super calm, cool, no arguing. It's just I think they're starving. And you have 3 kids. I've got 2, and it's like juggling that. And that's why we haven't had another kid. It's because I've looked at my situation. I'm like, if I can't be the best father to both of these, I'm not adding a third to this. Like, there's no way. Because it would be a baby, just like Hayes, and it'd be like my little boy. And I'll be like, well, I'm sorry, guys. This is my baby now.
And it's true. Like, I have to make sure that I talk to Cambry because I know that they feel like, oh, Hayes gets all the attention because he's the baby now. And it's true to some degree. Yeah. Like you have to a degree, but on the other hand,
Hayes takes the attention.
The dude's wild. It's true, man. It's like he takes, you have to keep your eyes on him 24 hours a day. This is no joke.
It's how they're how they demand that attention from you.
Yeah. I think one of the best pieces of advice that you gave me in the conversation we had that day was, and it was funny because Cambry was telling me the same thing you told me. She would tell me, I just want you to listen to me, right? And I'm like, no, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? And then I'm talking to Angela. She's like, hey, here's some of the tools that Liz gave us. Yeah. She said, you need to hear them out, hear what they have to say. And I'm like, dang it. She was telling me the whole time that she wanted to have a conversation with me. And I'm telling her, no, be quiet because this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? So it was like learning to make sure I slowed down to hear her voice because, man, the older they get, their voice is just going to get louder and louder. Yeah. And either it's going to push them away or it's going to make them closer to you. So
We will push them away.
we will push them away. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
and it's
sure.
hard because like at that moment, you feel like power is being lost. Like whenever you're like, all right, I'll give in. You can have a conversation. Like we can talk about this. Like not in the like now you take steps to get to that point, but in the moment you're like, if I give her this win,
Yeah.
then it's over. She'll rule me from then on because you feel like if they get one up on you, then it's
Yeah.
over. Which that's not the case, obviously, because if you give them a voice, they probably will see more respect in you than not.
Yeah.
So it's a medium, you know. I need to work on it too.
It's hard. So I think it's hard as a man too, because like this is my household and I want my kids to have every opportunity, or I want to give my kids an advantage that I see that other households lack, and that's a father figure.
Yeah.
And that father figure, you know, in our mind is often, you know, being this strong, stand up and you don't defy me attitude like thing, but
Well,
it's not.
if you fail, you feel like you failed your family.
Oh,
it's
dude.
not just you that fails as a person when you're a father.
Yeah.
It seems like you fail your children and your wife at the same time.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
there's a lot of pressure to make sure that things
Yeah.
are ran correctly.
For sure.
So
It's hard. It's a tough situation to be in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Sorry, Angela. I don't know if
No,
you
I'm
feel that.
listening. Yeah.
I don't know if you feel
I mean,
that.
I hope that's right. I mean, it's not. There's like a hidden fear as a father.
Yeah,
that
and this is the
you-
man's perspective, right?
Yeah,
Because
so
this is
I'm
what
a-
I feel.
I'm not a, you know, so I don't, and I'm sure Justin.
But
would
I'm
agree
anxious
with-
to see what
yeah.
like your thought is. Like I know there's been plenty of times like D steps in between and it's like not in between me and the kids.
Yeah.
But will pull me aside and be like, we need to rethink the way that we're
Back it up,
approaching
Terry.
this. Yeah. Because it's just 0 to 100 when you're getting combated with that. Or if I see like D get disrespected, it's over. Like there is no communication with me at that point because you're not affecting just that's one. Like when God says like you become one, I tell my daughter because she'll do weird stuff like this. Like we'll get out of the car, she'll open my door and say, "Dad, I did that because I love you." I'm like, "I love you too," and then but you see D get like kind of hurt about it, so I have to pull her aside. I'm like, "Look, by you taking care of my wife, you're taking care of me. That is me. So if don't see me as separate from D or your mom, we're the same. So if you respect her, you're respecting me."
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to switch it to where it's not like, oh, your dad and your mom. It's no, we're together. And by respecting my wife, you respect me. And so that's where it's like when you disrespect her, you're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
And I'll try to like, and then I'll go back and always tell them, when you have your house, you're going to want your husband to stand up for you and you're going to want to be respected by your kids. Start treating your mother this way, you know? So I'm wondering if that's where Justin gets fired up is like when disrespect came in.
Yeah, he does not play around with the disrespect at all, and I don't think you should play around with it. You know, you can't play around with that.
And that's
a
directed
child's going
towards
to be-
you, like the
she
disrespect
she
towards
could
you.
be
Both.
disrespectful to me. She could be disrespectful.
Yeah,
to
she
she could
could-
just be
Yeah. Straight-
disrespect you and you. You know, and she's not a disrespect. You know, I don't
No.
want to
Yeah,
pick around
no.
her. She's really not.
We
She's
know exactly
very
what you're talking
respectful.
about.
Yeah.
But you know, when she in those early years, she could push those lines, and so I think it's you know you cannot allow your kids to be disrespectful, and when that happens, they have to go to their room to
Yeah.
settle down and calm down. Let's rethink what's going on. This is what happened. This is what was said. You cannot allow you know anybody to be disrespectful to you or to your wife. You know, and then I think it's teaching and showing your kids this is how you respect you know your mom. This is what you say and you do because this is respect. Not only is it respect, but it's also love, and we love each other. You know, we're a family. We're here for you when nobody else is going to be here for you. We're
Yeah.
going to be here for you.
That's right.
Yeah. Was she the kid that whenever she went to someone else's house or somewhere out, they were like, your kid's amazing.
You're,
Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
my kid.
Oh,
yeah.
Like
absolutely.
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
My
she-
kids will go to someone's house and sweep their floor for them. I'm not even kidding you. Like
So
this
then-
is something
so you
that
know
they do.
you're good then.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
know you're good.
We can just breathe a little bit and then learn
Yeah.
to just be like a little bit more calm in situations because, yeah, we've raised them right.
Yes.
And I know that they're listening, but it's like sometimes they just straight up disrespect us. But outside of the home,
Right.
they're there. Like they've
Yeah.
got it. So
And
it's
they'll
like-
mature and they'll grow up. You know, and I tease Kaylee. Bubba Hagan was our youth pastor, and
Yeah.
I remember right after Justin and I had Kaylee, we came home from the hospital with Kaylee, and it was probably 2 days we were home, and I remember Bubba telling us that he said, you know, remember God is gracious. You know, the mistakes that you're going to make as a parent, God is gracious. You're going to do the best you can do, and God is going to be gracious whenever you make mistakes. And we talked about that today.
Yeah.
We'll never forget that advice. So there's you can use Kaylee as an example. You know, if Kaylee Martin can do it, you can too.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe that Cambry. Like we've had instances where Cambry's gotten like a little wild. You know what I mean? And said some disrespectful things and stuff. For the most part, she's a really, really, really good kid and very easy to raise. Like seriously, I feel blessed. We struggle with different things with both kids, right? Yeah. But they're so much different. Like viewing Cambry, viewing Briley, viewing Hayes. I mean, Hayes is 2 years old, but dude is strong-willed as they come already.
Yeah.
Like every day, it's like until he gets what he wants, it is like nonstop. And I know that's a 2-year-old too at the same time, but it's like.
But it's different. You've raised two, so you know that phase, and it's like different.
It's relentless with him. It is relentless.
It's a good word, relentless. That is.
Yeah, and I'm learning his tricks though, man. Like I'm starting to learn the difference between when it's serious and whenever he's just like, you know what I mean? Like he's learned us and figured out that he can do certain things and whine certain ways, and we'll just do it right, and it's worked until now. And I'm like, no, I done learned you, son. I done figured it out, and like there was here just recently. Like, you know, like he'll want chocolate milk instead of drinking water, right? And I'll be like, no, you've had 2 cups of chocolate milk. You need to drink some water. And he'll want to start to throw a fit. And I'll grab him by his little face and I'll turn to him and I say, not right now, not today. And like when I get serious with him, he'll be like, like he'll turn it off like almost instantly. That's how I know he was playing me for probably the last 6 months.
Wants that chocolate milk.
Yeah. But it's true though. They learn. Yeah. Kids learn that like for Hayes, like he knew that if he whined enough, I would give in. I would give him that third cup of chocolate milk, right? Why? Because he's a baby. He's my baby boy. And it's true. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was hard, but eventually I'm like, I done figured you out, dude. And he'll come up with some new tactics in the near future, I'm sure. You know.
I don't understand that, but like it's every kid, they get treated differently.
Yeah.
Like that's what I said. The third one for me, it would not be good. Because you're so exhausted by that time. You're just like, get over here. You're my baby.
Yeah. Well, you're older.
Yeah.
I was the baby. I had 2 older brothers. Yeah, I know exactly what. Yeah. My mom and dad were older, and dad he was making more money.
Are you the third?
Older. So I'm the third. 2 older brothers, and then I'm the baby. I'm 4 years younger than Wes. And
so
6
it
years
was way different.
Oh yeah.
And
I have to watch
especially
myself.
A girl being the last.
It's like a
yeah.
But like I have to watch myself when they're both in trouble. I make eye contact with Sage.
Oh right.
And I know it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's just who I direct towards. Mm-hmm. Sayla will be right there, and so I've been learning to like. You have to shift because
redirect.
She's getting the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But they're both involved. But she's like, I put her in a leadership position, and it's like you're way harder on the first one.
Oh, for sure.
And it's sad, but it's at the same time, it's like, like I told you, like I've never been a dad before, but I do know that you need to lead.
Yeah. Number one typically is usually the most strong-willed too. Not always, right? But they're typically, it seems like, whatever reason, like that first child, it seems to inherit those strong-willed traits. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Like they're usually the leaders of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That makes sense because yours is, mine is, and hers is. So.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I don't know why. God, why'd you do this to us?
Oh, man, probably because it reflects your relationship with him. That's just where it goes to. Like that is you. You're that strong-willed against God and what He asks you to do. And you're just you're learning what it is. I mean, like who you are, You
think it has something to do with the fact that maybe kids somehow not that like our traits are watered down through like multiple kids or something, but like they may take that firstborn child seems to like inherit those best and worst qualities. You know what I mean? Like strongest.
They do.
Maybe.
But I think the second one sees
the
how
first one
treated.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
But then they sneaky too. Second ones are sneaky.
No, that's the difference. That's the difference for sure. Briley is definitely way sneakier than Cambry is.
It's true. That's exactly how mine are.
I think that it has something to do with they see the other one like, and they learn how to work around all those.
Okay, Dad, I'll do that. But behind the scenes, you got to watch them.
That's right.
They are bad.
For sure. That's Briley without a doubt.
That's how they get you fooled, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't get in trouble. Like
Funny.
Sage always is the last one to see him get hit. Or like hitting, would they like hit at each other?
Yeah.
Sage will always be the last one to hit. Well, she's the one that gets in trouble. But
That's
Sayla
right.
knows how to play that.
Yeah.
So
She's
it's
figured it
like,
out. She knows the game.
Yeah.
Don't hate the player.
Provoke her to
hate
hit
the
and then
game.
be like, ow. And then she'll be like, I hear it.
For sure. No, Brawley's the hitter out of the two of them. She'll just be like straight up smack Cambry. Dude, the way she says Cambry when she's mad is the funniest ever. Cambry! It's so funny. I'm like, stop that. It's bad.
Oh, man.
Too funny. Pow Pow. Angela. I can't. No, I was going to tell the story.
I was
Go
like,
ahead.
dare I
Yeah,
ask
tell
why
the story.
that came into play there.
You know, people are going to want to know.
They're going to want to know. That was by accident, by the way. I didn't mean to do that earlier. So one day she's walking. This was 2 years ago? Probably 2 years ago.
Yeah,
'cause-
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, she's walking. She'd been at the gym for a little bit at this point. And she's walking through the hall
Yeah, I was at school. I was at Barrow.
at Barrow.
At work.
Yeah.
At work. And
It was a coworker. One of my coworkers.
She called you Pow Pow.
Yeah, she goes,
Go ahead.
look at your butt, Angela. When you walk, it goes pow,
Pow Pow. So ever since then, we've all called her Pow Pow.
Pow.
It gets written on the board every time we work out. So in the
That's 2
afternoon,
years for that nickname. So that's always
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it changes in the group. And
Pow
Pow.
Pow Pow.
That one stuck.
Bam
a lot.
bam. Dude, when she's talking about that story, I was like, I died. So people, squat and deadlift if you want to Pow Pow.
That's all it takes. Huh? It's true though.
Oh man, too funny. All right, man. Anything else? This was I liked this podcast. It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
We talked a little bit about education system. I love the fact that I feel like there's hope. I really do. Because there are teachers who really, really, truly care about your kids. Because too many parents and too many people, they see their kids come home and all they hear is all the negative from all day long. It's true. My teacher did this. Susie did this to me, whatever, right? And all you get is the negative feedback. But we have a large number of teachers in the gym, and I hear them tell the stories about how much they love their kids, and it gives me hope because I know that they are giving their best, and they're going to do a way better job than I am. So it always makes me also laugh whenever the parents have like got it all figured out. I'm like, dude, you ain't got a clue. It's like the armchair quarterback. No different. You're sitting in your chair, eating your bonbons or your Twinkies and watching the football game, telling Aaron Rodgers how to throw a football. It's no different in my opinion. The teachers are there every single day. They have the education. They put in the work. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Are there bad apples in every bunch? Sure. Absolutely. It's going to happen anywhere. But for the majority, teachers love their kids. They want to educate them. They want to teach them, So it gives me hope. It really does.
You have to love kids to be able to, because you're with them all day.
You don't have a choice. If you don't love kids, you're not going to last, right?
You have to love kids to be able to take you because you're taking care of them. When they come in, you are meeting their needs first and foremost. If it's, if they need breakfast, if they need a pencil, if they just need to talk about what's going on, you have to love kids. And I always knew from the time I was in second grade, I would play school. That's what I would do in my free time for fun.
Yeah.
So I always knew growing up that I would, I wanted to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this then, because if this is going to be maybe a tough question, I don't know. As a teacher, an educator, what is some good advice you could give to parents, or maybe like what is something you'd like to tell them? Like, hey, maybe it's if you did this for your student, it would help them, or I don't know. What is there any advice you would give to parents that are at home?
Yes.
Like, hey, what can we do as parents to help our kids to help you guys?
Yeah, so I wish that I would have known, with my own kid, with Kaylee, and being a reading teacher, I should have known the significance and the importance of reading with my child from the time she was born. Pick up a book and read. It doesn't matter what book it is. Read.
You're reading to them or
minutes.
letting them read to you? What do you do?
Either.
Matter.
Yeah, if they're an infant and can't read, you read to them. Goodnight Moon is a great book to start with. Books and reading is there's a website called Get Epic that has online audiobooks. It's free.
Yep.
Kids can get on that and listen to books
20
to 30 minutes a night. For the math piece of it, I've heard the math teachers talk about practicing the multiplication facts with the students.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a way to help with math. So just reading, practicing multiplication and math. Make sure your kids have plenty of pencils. Because they always need pencils at school. Yeah. We go through about, I told Justin today, we go through about 150 pencils a week. Just in my classroom.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you have a smaller class.
I have smaller classes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Justin has always taken the approach of, whatever the kids need,
Yeah.
he's all about buying and spending for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Got some good
really good about
support.
that, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, as a teacher, that the top 3 excuses that I hear
From students? Okay.
From students. It wasn't me. I didn't know. And I forgot. Those are the top. When I hear those, I know something's kind of shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 3 things.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
So it means they probably instigated and they were trying to cover their backside.
It wasn't me. Or the other one was I didn't know.
I didn't know. Yeah, like it was an issue or they didn't hear
Yeah.
maybe what it was.
You had
That was the
homework and I
instruction.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like my conversation after school with my kids.
And then
And
what was
then,
the last?
and then I forgot.
I forgot.
Forgot all 3 of those.
Those
they
3.
said.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I use those as an adult.
Did you get the milk?
I forgot.
I forgot. Definitely wasn't me. I wasn't doing it.
It's true. Too funny. That's interesting. So
Yeah, they teach me things all the time, daily. I learn from the kids so much. We have a lot of fun.
Sounds like she loves what she does. That's a good
she
thing.
does.
I love it every day. And
Yeah.
I never dreamed it would be, I would have this opportunity. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
How long do you see yourself doing it? Like,
As long as my health will allow me to.
We'll keep going to the gym and we hope to keep you at
be
it.
there until you're 80.
Yeah, I know. 80 years old and still teaching kids.
I mean, that's the plan, right? I told you, 80s and 90s.
Still have
still
grandkids. Something was
But-
that was just like, oh, I
You know,
want
so
to.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
take care of them. Huh?
need to take my kids,
yeah.
the grandkids, to Disney World this week. So
Yeah.
education out.
I'm anxious to see what that. Have you even thought about like what kind of a grandparent you would be?
Oh, it's going to be
You're gonna
so
spoil them
bad.
wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I already know.
Because she,
You
as,
paid
going to
the
be bad.
the
Can't do
parent
no
price.
wrong.
Now
Right.
it's like grandparent.
Right.
I'm gonna
as an
spoil you up.
aunt, she already spoils those kids.
100%. It's
so
bad.
When
It's
she's
bad.
grandma,
I tell my
Sissa.
kids
Yeah, they
that
call me
too.
Sissa.
they call you sister. Yeah.
I'll tell my kids all the time. Oh, I just can't wait till they have kids. I'm gonna spoil them and do all this stuff. They get so mad at me.
That's awesome.
That's funny though.
So, parents at home, read to your kids. Have them read. The book was by Dr. James Dobson. It's called Strong-Willed Child. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, but I wanted to confirm. So I'm going to go read it. I've never
I
read
want
it.
to read it.
I'm going to read it. I think it's
a good
important.
book.
If you're not reading as an adult, you need to be reading too. Right?
Yes.
Always be learning. Always be educating yourself on any topic.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I think people get in ruts. Like, I get myself in the rut of like focusing on self-help and fitness stuff, and I have to go outside the box. You know what I mean? And this may sound crazy, but I will throw in fiction books to break the cycle.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll be reading a book, or I listen. I'm an audiobook guy.
What's
I'll-
your thoughts on that? Is that good or bad?
For
kids?
Anything.
I didn't know if that
Nonfiction,
took
fiction,
away
any
from,
of it.
like, the reading
no,
part.
audiobooks. That's, I've heard. I just went to a training about 2 weeks ago, and they say kids listening to audiobooks, over the course of the school year can increase their reading comprehension by 2 grade levels.
Just by
That's
listening,
just
not
by
following
listening.
or nothing.
Yes, just by listening.
Wow, that's crazy. I love
Yeah.
audiobooks.
do too.
For me, it's more that like I can, to a degree, not extremely multitask, but I can at least listen while I'm mowing or driving. Things that I can't read a book normally and do. Right?
Yeah, I feel like I gather way more in audiobooks.
I do for sure.
I'll read and just like
No, I'll
just kind of lose the page.
I'm a
after
read a page and then I'll lose the page. Like, what did I just read? I have no idea. I do that all the time.
that. Why is that? Do we have dyslexia?
Why? I probably did.
Because I've seen Dale do like, I know he's got 8 minutes on the clock, but he puts like 6 sometimes. So I'm wondering.
You're saying I'm cheating on the workout?
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Man. So audiobooks. So for real, to break the cycle for me, I will seriously like throw in a fiction book. Like just because I get in a rut. And also like your mind like starts tuning out information if it's similar, right? I'll be listening to Jocko podcast and then another book like was it called Chasing Excellence, right? And they're
This blend.
they blend together and then the information becomes like mushed. And so I'll throw in war story book or something.
Do you
know
listen
what I
to podcasts?
I do, yes.
What do
and
you like
our
to listen to?
kids, we listen to kidslisten.org, and there's a podcast. I think it has like 250 something episodes.
That's cool.
It's called 6 Minutes.
Yeah.
And the kids absolutely love
Actual kids at your school listen to
it.
it?
Yeah, we listen to it in our
In
class.
class? That's
Mhm.
It's called
like on
Kids
Fridays.
Listen?
Kidslisten.org. They have several different podcasts to choose from. Basically, they're like animated stories. So we
What
do
would be
that
an
on
example of like one? Like, is it like, just tell me an example.
Yeah, so there's one called 6 Minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and that I would start with that one. And there's another one, something about a dog. I cannot remember the
It's
title
just
of it.
stories, or is it like?
Yeah.
Is
not
it?
really?
It's
It's like animated
the
stories.
the podcast is 6 minutes long.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I don't know if this is the same one or not, but Cambry was listening to this podcast book series, and like the episodes are super short, but like
Yes.
it was a full story, but it would be like in literally 5 or 6 minutes.
That's
segments.
exactly probably what it is.
Just enough to get them to like
Yes.
want to come back and listen to it. now.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Is
want
what
to
it
listen
seems
to
like.
it. Yes, they do. They want
That's
to listen
smart.
to it.
Yeah,
6 minute
Absolutely.
podcast.
we couldn't. There's no way you and I could
25 segments.
do, yeah, there's no way you and I could do a 6 minute podcast.
Yeah, the kids love it.
Yeah,
Well, and seeing it like in the evenings, I like to just sit in bed and get on my iPad and go to CNN, read the headlines.
you're a news person. I'm not a news person.
Yeah, I like to read science, health.
Yeah, I mean,
all of it.
all that's great.
Entertainment.
I just don't
Yeah.
like. I don't like the headlines. It drives me crazy.
Sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Oh no.
Any conspiracies you believe or no?
Aliens.
You believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Oh snap.
Ooh,
Okay, all right.
Justin doesn't.
He doesn't.
I don't think so.
Nah, he doesn't. He's too like black and white about things.
D doesn't believe in dinosaurs, so it's kind of the same
That's
thing.
so
Just-
wild to me. Like, how do you not believe we have dinosaur bones and like? And she's like,
She
nah,
just
man,
thinks it's fake.
we made it up, faked it, just like the moon landing.
What's your thoughts on the moon landing?
I think they landed on the moon.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I
I
still
think
think
they
they did. Yeah, I do.
You're teaming up.
Sorry,
It wasn't planned.
she's
I
prettier
asked
than you. Of course, I'm teaming up against you.
I asked the question. That's my fault.
Oh, yeah. So read to your kids. Have your kids listen to things, whatever it is. Big one, right? And we did a lot better job with Cambry reading when we were little and when she was young than we did with Briley, and it showed. I mean, we know she had dyslexia. We know why it became so hard for her, and that's why we almost gave up. Like literally, like, dude, we're done. Like we would try to read with her, and it got so hard. We just thought she didn't want to do it. Yeah, we literally just thought she did not want to learn to read. So we kind of gave up. And then they're like, dude, your kid's got dyslexia and you're a terrible parent. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. But yeah, with Hayes, we got to jump on it soon because I don't know that we don't read to Hayes right now that I know of. Like very, very little. We read the Bible every night, right?
Yeah.
But we don't read that many little kids' books. Got to start doing that.
What was the one? The moon? What did you?
Good. There's a little book, Good Night Moon.
Good night, man.
Is-
And we
it
have
would be great for Hayes.
We have hundreds of kids' books. When I say hundreds, like my Aunt Linda gave us, whenever she got out of teaching, she gave us like tubs full of books. And not only that, we had already had a ton anyway. So we have tons of children's books. So
Yeah.
we got to start reading to him more.
I want to write one. I really
Yeah?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
A lot of people,
Yeah, you should.
they do that, like the ebooks and stuff, but they're pretty popular right now to write them.
This is really funny. So I don't know when you said that Matt Kova, the guy that I met from Colorado, hunt with, right? He, whenever he's in the elk woods, he jokes around and he writes children's books, right? And while we were there, he wrote one, like not really wrote, but like came up with the title of it. Like we had hunted all day one day and no elk were bugling, you know? And so he's like, he wakes up the next morning, he goes, I got a new book. Whenever he gave it a name too. I can't remember the elk's name. He's like, whenever so-and-so lost his bugle. He's like, started like telling a little bit of a story about like how the elk lost his bugle. Yeah, it was kind of
The
fun.
kids would love that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
love books about animals. And
Yeah.
It's cool to have like a creative avenue. I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun to try to do one.
Yeah.
You could make your daughter superheroes or
Yeah.
something. Or
Yeah, do something like
Yeah.
that. The kid that never listened.
Her listener was broken.
The kid who needs to lose her bugle because she backstalks all the time.
Oh my
kidding.
goodness.
So
Nah,
bad.
it'd be cool to write one with your kid
Yeah.
because then you would have something, one, a memory, but
Yeah.
two, you're going to have a kid's aspect I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe to work.
Or maybe let them illustrate and do the artwork or
Yeah.
something for it. Or
Yeah,
Be fun.
it'd be cool.
Who cares if they don't buy it? I mean, it'd be fun.
I mean, that's what we do this for. It's just for
Pretty
fun,
much.
anyways, right?
We're actually negative. We're
Yeah.
in the red.
It's true. All right. Well, let's kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for your time.
Recap real quick. Read to your kids. Super important. Don't
Fourth
give up.
recap.
Huh?
Fourth recap.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there, but you keep interrupting.
I think we got distracted with the UFOs. And
That's what it was. Yeah.
Aliens. Don't give up on your kids. Strong-willed children are tough, but you'll get there. And usually, hey, they're going to be okay, right? Jake, we're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right.
Pow Pow and Kaylee are proof. The Martin family is proof that they, kids, strong-willed children are a blessing. They really are. At the end of the day, whenever they're an adult, I'm telling you right now, I believe that those kids are going to be those are the type of kids that change the world. I really believe that, right? They're not going with the flow of the crowd. They're the kids who are going to make decisions. They're going to change things in the world. I believe that,
Yeah.
right? Because they believe in something and they're going to fight for it. So it's a good thing. It really is. It's got to be nurtured in the right way, right? And it's our job as parents to do our best to help them along as best as we can, right? And I think number 3 would be that, man, your teachers at the school, they love your kids. Believe in them. I really believe that's a healthy thing to have, because you hear it all over the place from too many parents, from too many kids, that school is such a terrible thing and the education system is so poorly done, blah, 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 blah. But I do believe it. I believe you love my kids, and I have every bit of faith that, you guys are doing the best you can. So boom, let's wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want one?
Sure.
Yeah. We're out.
Yeah, man.